Have you ever wondered why Twitch streamers and YouTubers are just, especially these variety streamers, are just so good at the games that they play? Even when they're switching from one game to another, they seem to pick up and play at a pretty high level the new game that they play. And you think like, how can I have that kind of ability where I can be just great at every game that I play? So hey guys, I'm Daniel with Dragonmore Gaming. Thank you so much and welcome. And here at Dragonmore Gaming, we help gamers like you be the best they can be. So when we're talking about trying to just simply get that higher level of play, just being great at just going into a new game and just being able to crush it, I wanted to share a few things with you because as far as a generalist gamer myself, right, I played a multitude of different games across multiple genres, and playing with my friends over the years, they've asked me the same question. We'll all start a same game together. And I'll kind of pull away from the pack, if you will, and suddenly be able to play at a higher level than they are. And they always ask, like, how do you get so good? How are you so good at this game? We all started at the same time. And so I wanted to share the answer with you guys. So I hear a lot of feedback and people try to answer the question. It's like, well, it's really bad experience, right? You got to play. And if you play a lot, then you'll be good. You'll get good if you just play more. And that's not quite right? So, you hear the adage, practice makes perfect, and I will say, yes, experience does help, absolutely, but it's not the whole picture. And then some people I've heard, ask and say, it's like, well, is it just knowledge, right? Is it just simply knowing, like, the meta or the strategies and tips just to, like, give you that edge? And that's not quite right either, because you notice that even going to the new games where you might not know anything, you wouldn't have that preconceived knowledge. So that's also not quite the right answer. So the real answer, and the thing that's worked for me for years, it's a little bit harder to put into words. So I call it the gaming framework. And the gaming framework is just simply the understanding the how things work, right? It's the kind of patterns, almost the formulas about how the game works. And this could be across, just within one game, or across multiple, genres, or just, all of the gaming industry, right? You just kind of pull pieces together, and that's what I have this kind of gaming framework as a result. And that might sound a little daunting, but it's not. I want to assure you guys that you're using gaming frameworks now already. I'll give you the example. The simplest framework would be just simply movement in a game, right? When you're controlling your character. How many of you play a game where you just you pick up, whether it's your console, it's your Switch, your Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, and you immediately pick up the controller and you start moving the character with the left stick. I mean, nobody told you that that's how the character moved, right? But you've played enough games that you're like, well, yeah, they always map movement to the left stick. For the PC gamers, it's the same thing. Like, how many of you put your fingers on WASD for movement in a brand new game that you're playing? I mean, it's the same thing. It's nobody told you, right? And even if they do, right, the how to, like, this is how you move. Like, most of us just skip that, right? Like, yeah, I know how to move. It's the same controls in every game. Well, that's the simplest form of like a gaming framework. It's just simply you have this understanding and this pattern that says this is how movement works in games. So really, it's just expanding upon that. So what I use is, as far as my gaming framework, it applies in kind of a more broad level across not only like movement, but just simply how different things interact in a game, right? Whether it's just simply adventuring around, like how it could be simple as like how money works in different games, right? And there's a few different ways that it can work, and it's like kind of quickly testing a little bit and trying to intuit, like, okay, so is this important or not? And then depending on how it fits in your framework, it goes in and out. So really, when and another example would be just when I was teaching my wife, my then girlfriend at the time, how to play Smash Brothers. For those that know, Smash Brothers, and just to give you kind of the quick framework, if you will. So that's I didn't teach her like, oh, this guy has this moves, this character has these moves. I taught the framework, like kind of the base level first, where I was like, yep, movement moves with a left stick. Surprise, surprise. And then A is attack and B is special. But then if you hit a direction in each one of those buttons, it does a different thing. And then if you hit up on the stick, or X or Y, that's your jump. And then you can hit it again in the air, and that's a double jump. And then up and B is your recovery. So forgive me if you don't play Smash, but it's just very quick, easy frameworks to understand. And for those that do play, it's like, yes, the different characters do different things, and some are better or worse at different things. And you're like, well, that doesn't happen with every character. I'm like, well, it kind of does, and it's just they just expand upon it. Oh, this character has more double jumps, 5 or 6 mid-air jumps than usual. This character's fast. This character's slow. This character has multiple, fast attack A options as opposed to just one. But it's all based on that same framework at the beginnings, that same baseline, if you will. And so she never really played, or she tried to play before and didn't quite understand. But after teaching that framework, she could start to see how the game worked, and like how different characters would interact as a result. And it just made her it learn much more quickly than she did on like some of the other games. So she really enjoyed that. So it's not only just even for yourself, even when you're trying to include whether it's friend, sibling, child, anybody that you want to bring in and share your games with. So if you start with a framework, it's a little bit easier to teach, as well as helping them build that skill more quickly. So if you work in these kind of framework mindsets, you yourself too, you'll be able to learn more quickly and gain that both the experience and the knowledge piece together, and just be better at the games just faster, more quickly. And you won't have to feel like you won't feel frustrated or feel like behind, or you won't feel like you're being a drag on your team or anything like that, because you'll be able to pull it much quicker than a lot of people, just because you have these frameworks, instead of just relying on just simply practice, right? It's just sitting there practicing over and over. Just you only get so good, right? You have to kind of understand a little bit more about like what's going on. So that's why I love using the gaming frameworks, and that's helped me over years and years, just to be not the best in the world per se at any one game, but being just usually good to like to grade at like a lot of different games. So it's really been a lot of fun for me, and I hope that I can share that with you to really help you play at a higher level that you guys want, and get better at the games that you want to be at. So hope this has been helpful, guys. I certainly love sharing these call them these power gaming tips, right? And so I want to try to do more of these. So if you're interested in this kind of content, please hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell to make sure you get get notified when these videos go live. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.